Hey guys, so I am here with a Bath & Body Works candle review. I wanted to do a few reviews of some of the candles that I've burned. I have three different ones, two that I finished and one that I'm almost more than halfway through. I kind of wanted to do these reviews before the candle sale this Saturday. If you haven't heard, Bath & Body Works has their $8.95 candle sale. I believe it was $8.50 last year, and now it's $8.95 this year. It is this Saturday, December 3rd, and I know a lot of stores are opening up early. My store said they were opening up at 9 a.m. and I think I've heard some are opening at 8 a.m. So you might call yours to see what time they're opening and try to get there a little bit early, because if there's a certain scent you want, sometimes they go pretty quick. So if you wait till later in the day, it might not be there. So I get off work at 5 a.m. so I might come home and sleep for a few hours and then get up and go. I'm not sure yet, but if you want to get a good pick of them, you want to be there fairly early in the day. So anyway, I'm going to try to do a few reviews today and tomorrow and get them up before Saturday. So the first one I have here is Maple Cinnamon Pancakes. It has a picture of the gingerbread house on there, and it has a Christmas tree lid on the top, and it's in the frosted glass. This is like a light brown frosted glass on here. So it reads, warm maple syrup, fluffy buttermilk pancakes, fresh ground cinnamon. So I'll talk about the burn first. The burn, it was not too bad. As you can see, it's finished there. Wasn't too much soot or anything. It's hard to tell with these frosted glasses sometimes, because I mean, you could see a little bit, but it wasn't much soot at all on this one. I keep them trimmed. I try to trim them before each burn to keep that soot down. But you don't want to trim them too much, because if you trim them too much, then the wicks get really puny. So you got to leave enough to keep the flame going, but not be too crazy high. I think it did pune out just a little bit towards the middle part, and I cotton balled it one time. If you don't know what that means if the flames get real puny and are barely lit, just blow it out, take a cotton ball, dip it into the wax to absorb some of that wax, throw the cotton ball away, then relight it, and the flames will get higher again. Some people don't like to do that. Some people say if you just leave it alone, it'll correct itself. Sometimes that happens, but it takes a while sometimes for that to happen. And if you want those flames to get high pretty quick, just do that cotton ball trick and it'll get the flames up pretty high. And then sometimes you have to do that quite a bit throughout the rest of the candle. Sometimes you don't at all. I did that like one time, and then after each burn after that, I didn't have to do it anymore. I just had to do it one time. After that, the flames stayed pretty high through the rest of the candle. So that's good. It only happened one time, so that means the burn, it was pretty good for the most part. So for that one time, it got kind of puny. Okay, so the scent on this, it's very sweet. It's very sweet. It's not super Christmassy. A lot of people have compared it to, I believe it's pumpkin caramel latte from a few years back. I did have that one before, and if I remember correctly, it is similar to that. I don't know if it's exactly the same, but it has some similarities to that. But I thought that one was pretty light from what I remember when I burned that one. This one wasn't quite as light as I remember that one being. This one was, on average, it did pretty good as far as the strength and throw of it. I got a real sweet, like caramely, not pure caramel to me. It wasn't like, say, Cider Lane. It's just real caramely. It wasn't like that. It wasn't like a pure caramel type of scent, or you know, salted caramel, things like that. There's no saltiness to this. It had a caramel quality to it, but it almost, I did get a little bit of maple in there too. I got like a kind of like a maple mixed with caramel, kind of. That's kind of what I got a little bit with this sweetness to it. Yeah, sweet. There's a little hint of cinnamon. I get a little bit of hint like of cinnamon, not kind of like a bakery cinnamon, like you threw a little cinnamon into, but it's not really a bakery candle though. But it has like a little cinnamon, but not like a red hot cinnamon though, just like a cinnamon like you would put in like food or something. Kind of a cinnamon that kind of calms down when you cook the food. Yeah, that's kind of what I get. So that's what I got when I first burned it. kind of a caramel, maple leaf sweetness, and a little hint of cinnamon. But then when I got down to about the halfway point in this candle, I started smelling pumpkin cinnamon bun. That's what it smelled like. That's from Bath & Body Works. It was out 2 years ago, came out again this year. It reminded me a lot of that. It had that browning smell. Pumpkin cinnamon bun to me smells like cinnamon rolls browning in the oven. It just has that kind of a browning kind of a smell. That's what I got with this. A browning, and I got a little hint of the cinnamon, so it could be just like the cinnamon roll kind of smell, but this says pancake, so I mean, I guess it could be like if you had like I've never had cinnamon pancakes before, so I don't know. I guess if you just sprinkled cinnamon into your pancake batter, put them on your pan and griddle, fried them up, maybe that's kind of what it would smell like, the smell of like cinnamon in the pancake, and then the browning on the griddle or the pan. I could get that from that. That's what I could get from this. It had that kind of a browning quality. Some people think that smells like a burnt smell. If you think pumpkin cinnamon bun had a burnt smell, you probably wouldn't like this, because that's what I got from this. That browning kind of like when they're it's browning, or like if you have a pancake, since it's pancakes, if you would have a pancake on the griddle and it would kind of get, you know, a little dark around the edges, and that kind of a browning smell, that's kind of what I smell with this. I loved pumpkin cinnamon bun, so I liked that smell. That's what it reminded me of, so I like it, but it wasn't quite as good as pumpkin cinnamon bun is to me. That one just has a little something more to it. This one was similar, but not quite as good. But that didn't pick up, like I said, till halfway and then towards the end, and it really got really strong on that browning smell. So yeah, that's what I got from it. It was similar to the pumpkin cinnamon bun, but not quite as good to me as that one was. But like I said, it's not necessarily Christmassy. You could maybe even get this and burn it like after Christmas. It could even be burned in the fall, maybe. Because Maple Cinnamon Pancakes necessarily, even that title wouldn't be Christmassy. But it's just a good scent if you don't want like your typical pines, typical peppermints and all that stuff. If you don't mind something that's not super Christmassy, then you might actually like this one. It's okay. It was okay for me. I don't know if I would get it again. Like I said, the throw was good. Overall, the scent throw on this, I would give it probably a 7 to 8. When I first lit it, it wasn't as strong. It kind of 6 to 7 when I first lit it, and then it kind of picked up a little bit more. At the height, it was probably an 8. It got the most strong when it had that browning smell that I talked about. That was probably when it was the strongest. But yeah, it's okay. Like I said, I don't know if I would get another one again, but it was alright. It was alright. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it either. It's just very similar to a lot of other scents out there, kind of. So yeah, that's my review for Maple Cinnamon Pancakes from Bath & Body Works. And don't forget, like I said, the $8.95 candle sale is this Saturday. So if you use your 10 off 30 coupons, you can get these candles for like $6 something, I believe. So alright, thanks for watching, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.